about something else? I mean, anything. I'm literally down to talk about anything. We don't have to talk about this game. You guys want to talk about, I don't know, state fairs? They're pretty cool. I mean, they're not that cool, but cool in this game. All right, so we'll go over the game. Unfortunately, we'll go over the game. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video, by the way. So we'll go over the game. I'll talk about today's sponsor, and then I'll talk to the chat for a little bit because I know that we're all upset after this terrible loss. So where do we start? I don't even know where to start. So first, I know where to start. First and foremost, you don't lose to the Chicago Bulls, okay? I was fully expecting the San Antonio Spurs to win this game. Now, while we lost, I know we're missing Wemby, whatever, but they put up 140 points. Even though we lost it, there is a silver lining. There is something that's a big deal about this, and it's a good thing. Not the fact that we lost, but the fact that the Chicago Bulls won, and we'll talk about that a little bit. You guys already know what that is, but let's just some things that stand out, man. I don't even know where I should start. Nikola Vucevic, 40 points. Forty points. He was 16 for 22, guys. He had 40 points. He put 40 points on us, guys. I didn't know we faced Prime Shaq. I had no idea. I had no idea. I had no idea we were going against Wilt Chamberlain tonight. 40 points. Honestly, I want to see if that's his season high. We're a top defensive team in the NBA, mind you. Yes, that was his season high. He got his season high against us tonight. He got his season high against us tonight. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the Boston Celtics, well, he lost against Boston Celtics, but he put 32 on their head. And he shot 73%. Fifth highest in his career. What's his career high? I don't know why I have it. 43. He almost got it. He was super close. He was super close to his career high against the San Antonio Spurs tonight. A top tier team in the NBA. I'm pretty sure we're even a good team when Wemby isn't on the court defensively. So this was just horrid. This was just awful. No excuse for it. I know that we're lacking. Backup bigs or effective backup bigs, defensive backup bigs. But still, no excuse, guys. This doesn't happen. This does not happen. This was terrible. This was god awful. All right, so that happened. Yeah, moving on. San Antonio Spurs. We'll just talk about our players. That's what we care most about. What's depressing about this game is who could you rely on? Oh, you could rely on Keldon Johnson. So Keldon Johnson had a pretty good game offensively. 3 turnovers, but hey, the Spurs literally got to a point. It was so sad that they said, hey, Keldon, save us. Keldon did a good job. This isn't me criticizing him. I thought that he was fine. Yeah, but I do think it's an issue if you have literally Devin Vassell and Chris Paul, and you get to a point where you're leaning on Keldon Johnson to save you. I think that that's an issue for this game, at least. That's a big issue. That's a no-no. You're going to lose. And they did. They lost in a grand fashion. One thing that really worries me about the Spurs, and I mentioned this before, okay? And I said this about good teams, okay? I thought you could get away with it maybe with the Bulls, but when you're missing Wemby, you definitely can't get away with this. The Spurs have been starting off so slow in most of these games, or a big chunk of these games. and they're relying on second half adjustments to win every single time. And I don't know if it's in-game adjustments in the first quarter with the coaching. I don't know if it's just a mindset. It's probably just a mindset thing with the team. I have no idea. But we're a great third quarter team, but the first quarter is just awful. Just awful. And you can't keep doing that. You can't just rely on that. You can't rely to, well, we'll adjust in halftime and come out swinging. You don't want to constantly be coming back. You can see starting off 22 points in the first to their 36. And you would have thought, oh, okay, well, I mean, maybe the Chicago Bulls are just playing such great defense. The Spurs scored 35 in the second, and they scored 40 in the third. It's just the first quarters where they come into these games just soft. The Chicago Bulls were able to get whatever they wanted. So on a player-to-player basis, let me go ahead and tell you who I will not be criticizing tonight, okay? Steph Castle, because he's such a baby, all right? He's just a little baby, not in a negative way. He's just a baby, all right? We're not going to criticize him too much. He's pretty great for his age. He's been doing his thing. Got to the line. He was aggressive. 10 free throws overall. He hit 8 of them. 6 assists. I'm not going to talk about him, all right? I'm not going to talk about Steph Castle, all right? Everyone leave Steph Castle alone. No one's talking about him. So, Chris Paul, very disappointing. Okay. And I think that he will even say that. 4 for 11. No, let's not do that. Actually, Chris Paul, can you give us a little something? Maybe. Can you give us a little bit more than that? Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Anyways, Harrison Barnes, but Chris Paul did have a lot of assists, as he always does, though. I will say that. Harrison Barnes been mid ever since he got the Western Conference Player of the Week award. But that's probably just age. He'll be fine. He's Harrison Barnes. He'll be fine. But I would like to see him eventually come off the bench. And you probably want to go ahead and throw Devin Vassell back in that starting lineup. Let's just be honest, all right? Let's just be honest with ourselves. Totally agree with Sohan going back into the starting lineup. I think they only did it because we're missing Wemby. And unfortunately, he's kind of the best suitable backup to Wemby, like at the center position, which is really strange to say, but yeah, it's been pretty bad. Julian Champagnie, he was okay. I do want to rant a little bit though. So Devin Vassell, I say this all the time, right? We always say this, especially in a game like this. 15 shots ain't going to cut it, all right? I don't care if he goes 1 for 52, okay? I want Devin Vassell taking as many shots as humanly possible, especially when you're missing Wemby, okay? 15 in this game with the context and how the game was going, I wish he would have shot even more than that. But with that being said, it's not like he was lighting the world on fire, okay? He wasn't offensively. But he had 4 steals, which is crazy. That's a lot of steals. But here's my rant. My rant wasn't about Devin. Here's my rant. This man. Because it's not about the stats. So I've tried my best to lay off the Zach Collins hate because I've seen so many people just dogpile him. And in my opinion, I always just felt, hey, he's a power forward. He's out of position. Yeah, he's not the best player in the world, but I don't think he's as trash or as bad as people say he is. But guys, I'm coming off of that. I think I don't care about the stats, but what I do care about is the demeanor and the morale. And someone in the chat mentioned earlier the vibes of Zach Collins. I don't know what it is, and this just speculation on my part. Okay, I could be completely off on this. Maybe I'm just looking too deep into it, but it's a weird feeling when he's on the court. Okay, I don't know. It's not a lot of excitement. It's not a lot of enthusiasm. Not to say he doesn't play with energy. It's like he's doing his job, but that's it. He's just doing his job. Like I watched Devin Vassell, and he's not just out there doing his job. He's very bouncy. Not just as an athletic player, but he's very bouncy. He's very energetic. You can feel the enthusiasm. You can feel the extra effort, right? With Zach Collins, I have not been feeling that this season. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't think he's a bad player, and I still hold my opinion that he's just out of position, but it's just been weird. And even when we looked at his press conferences, when he ever has one, it is off, man. And I don't know what's going on. Even Pirtle wouldn't get bullied like that. Oh, you don't have to put the even, just put Pirtle. Pirtle was good defensively. Pirtle didn't get bullied like that. People think back on like Ja Morant going at Pirtle and dunking a couple times, and they're like, oh, he got killed in the paint. No, Pirtle was fine. I miss Jakob. Me too. But it was all for good. It's all for good measure, okay? Spurs did a fine thing. It is what it is. Pirtle was good. He was a good defender. Pirtle and Anchor. He was pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good for us. But yeah, Zach Collins, guys, I'm starting to feel the vibe that he's not it. And I mentioned this before. Hold on. Actually, we'll go to his game log. Because I mentioned this before the season even started. And I wasn't sure how things will look for him if he isn't knocking down threes. Because he talked about how that's all he worked on, or a big chunk of his offseason was working on threes. And I gave him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, only because, hey, you had the shoulder thing going on, and, you know, coming off of injury is always going to be tough, adjusting to new roles. I get it. But, man, it gives me the vibes of Pau Gasol all over again, where we try to put Pau in a position to just be a stretch big for us. And that's how he could have really benefited us, but it just didn't work out. And it's starting to feel like that with Zach Collins, where he's just completely avoiding his confidence is shot, I think, from behind the arc. This game, they said 1 for 1 from three. Did they count the one where his foot was on the line? Or was that another three? I might have just missed the three then. Maybe I was out of the room for a second. But yeah, he's not attempting that many. And I definitely expect him to attempt at least 4 to 5 a game from all the talk this offseason. So I don't know, man. Something's just off. I think that his confidence is, in my opinion, I think his confidence is off. His morale is off. Just something doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right. Zach Collins is a stretch big, probably the reason why we keeping Collins, but he hasn't been a stretch big. I mean, I don't think this is stretch big numbers. You take 1-3 in the course of the last 3 games. Well, actually, you took 4 threes in the last 3 games. One of the games you went 0 for 3. Everyone sucked against the Phoenix games though, or Phoenix game. I mean, you're taking a 3 or 2 a game, man. Like, that's not. The dude is stinking it up. It's just not working. That's the only way where it can work, if he can offset it. But he's not offsetting it because his threes aren't. He's not putting enough points on the board. And you know what? I feel like the coaching staff knows this, right? I mean, there was one game in particular where they just sat him and we didn't even know if he was going to play. Something's off. Something's not right. That's my vibe. Like I said, I could be wrong. I will admit if I'm wrong on this, but I'm having a hard time defending Zach Collins at this point, guys. Now with Keldon, hello Mikasa, my cat's here. I'm gonna have to get her off though, because she's gonna press a button. As far as Keldon is concerned, he did a really good job tonight. No argument from me there, but I think it is a problem when the Spurs start to say, hey, we're going to rely on Keldon Johnson to save us, which they did. It turned into the Keldon Johnson show. They literally started ISOing for Keldon Johnson. That is bad, guys. That is not good. That is not a good look. Your cat is back? Yeah. Yeah, she's okay. She could tell I was upset. You can tell I was upset about that game? Yeah. Yeah, she knew I was upset. But those are my thoughts about the game overall. Okay, I thought it was pretty terrible. But the good news, all right, there is some good news, okay? With all the BS, there is some good news here. And the good news is, and I probably should have already had this up. What was that? I'm trying my best, guys. I'm multitasking here. All right. Here's the good news, is that the Chicago Bulls won yet another game, and that brings us closer to getting their draft pick. Now, I'm of the notion that the Atlanta Hawks are going to suck, right? By the end of the season, we'll have 2 lottery picks. I think we'll have Atlanta's. I think we'll have ours. I know a lot of fans, or a lot of Spurs fans, think that we'll make the playoffs. I know this is easy to say after a loss, but I've been saying this. I don't think the Spurs make the playoffs. However, I do think that we get about 44 wins, which would be a huge improvement from last season. And 44 wins do not give you, I'm sorry, Mixa. It doesn't give you a lottery. It probably won't even put you in the play-in. Last year, you had to have at least 46 wins to get into the play-in. So I expect the Spurs to be out of the playoffs, and I expect to have the Atlanta Hawks out of the playoffs. That would give us 2 lottery picks, and then the Chicago Bulls can continue to win. Then we'll get theirs. I don't know what's going to happen with this Hornets stuff, man, because LaMelo can't stay healthy. So that's my thoughts on that. And with that being said, big shout out to BetUS. I want a shot at Cooper Flag. So if you guys are interested in anything BetUS, they have a bet here for NCAA specials in which Cooper Flag to win 24-25 Wooden Award. And you can see here, not a crazy game, but if you wanted to do $10, that's 40. If you wanted to really up the ante, do 50, that's 200. So if you guys want to bet on that, you just do that. You hit place bet there, and then it will lock in. You just confirm it, and you're good to go. But yeah, go over to BetUS, use promo code YouTube150. You'll receive 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. But yeah, so check out BetUS. All right, time to look at the chat. Who do y'all think is the best fit backup center for the Spurs to get? I don't know, man. You have to. Okay, you can sit there as long as you don't press anything. Nope, you're pressing the keyboard. Okay. Right off the bat, right when I said you can sit here, she pressed the keyboard. Hold on, you got. I had to put her in her cat backpack. All right, what we got here? The Hawks are pretty good, so that pick won't be good. Let's look up the Atlanta Hawks right now. I personally think it'll all fall apart. Okay, they just beat the Hornets. Oh, that was the other day. That's like the worst thing that could have happened. Yeah, that's not good. They beat the Pelicans. I think that we were looking at these future games, whereas the ones that they might start losing, because you got okay, they beat the Bucks. All right, but you have the Lakers, the Knicks. Hopefully the Spurs will get their stuff together. They're better than how they've been playing. Then you got the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Hopefully they start falling apart pretty soon. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on them. The thing is, they're not going to tank. You know, they're going to try their best, because why not? You know, Lakers are awful right now. I mean, they have the exact same record as the Hawks. Hawks 12 for 11, Lakers 12 for 10. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Lakers should keep drafting LeBron kids. They really should. 46 wins for a play-in is crazy. Yeah, that's what it was last year. Let's see. I don't know what it was in the East. No, the East was 36. You need to get at least 36 wins. In the West, yeah, you needed 46. So you needed 10 extra wins. Yeah. So if that trend continues, actually we'll go back a year before that. What did it take? Well, a year before that it only took 40. So I guess we'll see. But obviously the NBA is closer to what it was last season than it would have been the season prior to last. So I don't expect the Spurs to make the play-in. Maybe the play-in, but definitely not the playoffs. Will be a play-in team in my opinion. We're super close. It's not like we're not close. We're super close. But I mean, it's a true battle here. I guess it just depends on what you think of the Timberwolves. I still think the Lakers are going to be in the play-in, if not the playoffs. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see. It depends on Wemby's health. I'm pretty sure Wemby's okay. It was just a matter of a lower back issue, right? So I think he's all right. I guess we'll see what comes out of it. What a frustrating game, guys. Honestly, last two games. I won't say this one's as bad as the Suns one. That would just be a complete lie. But it's pretty bad. So is Wemby back tomorrow? He's been upgraded to questionable for tomorrow. But more than likely, it's going to be pushed to Sunday, from what I heard. So he's questionable for tomorrow. He's been upgraded to questionable, but knowing the Spurs, they might just say, screw it, we'll wait till Sunday. And guys, I don't think this game, like I saw some people in the chat saying, oh, we needed Wemby so bad. This is not one of those games where I think you needed Wemby to win it. I just don't. Spurs played horrible. They played terrible. Man. Yeah, this just wasn't one of those games. By the way, this is something I didn't mention. Sohan had a good game. I should have said that. I was so focused in on how poorly we played and how much Zach Collins made me angry that I forgot about Sohan. Sohan had a good game. 16 points, 14 rebounds. I mean, he's pretty consistent. It's kind of sad because a lot of people are like, Sohan comes and we start losing games. And it's like, guys, we've been basically 500 all season long. And also, what is it that Sohan's doing on the court that's causing the Spurs to lose games, right? He's taking pretty good shots. He's hustling on the boards. How is this hurting us at all? He's not taking a ton of shots away from his teammates. People brought up the last game against the Suns. Hold on. And this one really bothered me. People said that, or some people said that he was stat padding. And I'm like, okay, I guess the meaning of stat padding, it just has no meaning anymore. Because you go back to the Suns game. Let's see. Wemby put up 18 shots. Castle put up 14. And Vassell put up 14. Jeremy Sohan only put up 10. So he didn't shoot as much as three other players on the team. And then he shot just as much as Keldon, Julian Champagny, Chris Paul, and Harrison Barnes. So he shot the same amount as the rest of his teammates. I think we're just making things up when we're like, he's stat padding. I don't see what you see. I saw someone criticizing, I think we mentioned it earlier, that he's biting on a lot of pump fakes. And I can see that. Like, yeah, he has been. But I think that's also a matter of him just being out for a little while, you know. I don't know. It's just Sohan is not the reason why the Spurs are losing. All right, it's been a continuous thing this season. They're a 500 team. They've been 500. Yeah, when he was playing, well, that's the preseason. He was playing before, pretty much 500. Loss, win. Loss, win, win. Loss. And then we were gone for a while. I don't know. We need to replace Collins with a defensive anchor. I don't think any of us thought Collins was a long-term option. And this season is going to have growing pains. It just is. And we've enjoyed some We've enjoyed some really good wins. And I still think that the Spurs can beat anybody. Not even at full health. I think they can beat anybody when they're hitting on all cylinders. And they've showed that quite a bit this season, that they can hit on all cylinders. I think that this is going to be fun to watch these next couple games, because we'll really get to see Coach Mitch Johnson's adjustments for this team, right? Because he did give them a little bit of love during the Phoenix game, because like, well, we kept them to 104, and then you give up 139, 140 points to the Chicago Bulls. I know you don't have Wemby, but still, that's ridiculous. We'll see how he reacts to that. There you go, Clan. What'd I say? We need Pop back? Of course we need Pop, but Pop probably ain't coming back. Mitch said it right. Oh, I said it right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mitch Johnson. You keep hearing Mitch Johnson. If we had Pirtle, we wouldn't have given that much point. No. Yeah, we need a legitimate center, man. But like, I don't know. It was quite a bit of effort I saw, especially in the fourth quarter defensively from just about everybody. But yeah, when Zach Collins go out there, man, he's kind of a dud. He's been kind of a dud. And I don't think it comes down to his ability. I'm all right with you missing shots, but this was the issue before. I just don't know how he fits if he can't hit threes, if he can't continuously knock down threes. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look good. Collins misses so many chip shots at the rim. I get so mad. I think his confidence is shot. Honestly. So his demeanor, his morale is just off, man. I think he's something's just weird. I didn't necessarily feel like this. You guys remember? Well, actually, it's probably been going down since last season, because he struggled in his new role last season. But do you guys remember how everyone was talking about Zach Collins when Wemby was coming in? Like, everyone was talking about how Zach Collins is going to be that enforcer, right? He's going to take nothing from nobody. Have you seen that? I haven't seen that enforcer Zach Collins. That I don't know, man. His juice is gone. I don't know what's going on. His fouls hurt his game. Oh yeah, that foul on Buzelis was terrible. And then he looked at the ref and he was like, "What happened? What?" I went straight up. It's like, no, that was. Even if I was a ref, I would have called that. Even if I had a parlay on the Spurs to win, I would have called that. That was pretty bad. He's lazy and spaced out on the court. I don't think he's spaced out on the court. I don't think that that's true. I think he's I said this before, he's suitable, and that's all he is. And that's unfortunate, right? It's just being suitable isn't good enough. And I don't really feel that way with anyone else on the team. If Julian Champagnie just played, right near where he normally is, right? His median. I mean, he's a fine 3-and-D player, but I do see that extra effort, that extra oomph, that extra line of communication, that extra something. I just see it with Julian. I see it with Sohan. I see it with Barnes. I see it with Paul. I see it with Castle. They can have bad games, and I still sit back and feel good about it. About the future games, that we'll be okay. But Zach Collins, I just haven't felt that. And the fact that the Spurs actively took him out of the starting lineup, a couple games ago for the longest, and the fact that his minutes have been so weird, especially on a team that lacks big men, I think it's telling, man. Something ain't right. Zach is out of position. What's his career high? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, he is out of position. That's why I haven't really talked poorly of Zach Collins, Career high. 14 points. Actually, I don't know. What is his career high? Looks like 29. Last year? Let's see. Oh, is that when Wemby was out? I guess that's when Wemby is out. All his career highs come with the Spurs. The Spurs are so great at helping players develop, man. Yeah, all his career highs came with the Spurs. That's crazy. Yeah, his top 20 career highs were with the Spurs. I know he hasn't played a lot in the league, but due to a lot of injuries. But 29 points is the most he ever scored, and it was last year. Yeah, last season. I do remember this game. Did he take any threes again? He had to take threes, right? He took 1 3. Or he hit 1 3, I mean. That was against the sorry Pistons. Yeah, Pistons pretty bad. But hey, you asked what his career high was. It's 29 last year against the Pistons. But we're not expecting Zach Collins to be like a star or nothing, right? I just want him to be more than suitable, you know? And if that comes with, you know, constant communication, that comes with that little bit of oomph, a little bit of that anger, you know? A little bit of that toughness, a little bit of that enforcer. I just haven't seen Zach Collins the enforcer, you know? I haven't seen it. I know that that's a silly thing to say, or it sounds like a silly thing to say. It's just how I feel. You know, if some time goes by and I'm like, I was kind of off about that take, I will go back on this. It's just the vibe over the last few weeks. I've been very charitable, but I can't ignore it anymore, man. It's why does Mitch not let players with momentum play? I feel like, I mean, maybe this game was really strange, but I feel like for the most part he's been doing that. He's been doing a pretty decent job with rotations, I thought. It's been kind of a, hey, you know, whoever gives me something off the bench, then play you a little longer, you know. I think he's been all right. We need to draft a center. Well, good news, Mario. We have at least probably 2 draft picks, but maybe 3 or 4 would be crazy. I won't hold my breath on the Hornets one, but I will hold my breath on the Chicago Bulls one. I think we could possibly get their pick. But if we don't, it goes into it goes into next year and the year after, I believe. So we'll be fine regardless. Does it say that detail on here? On this site in particular, it doesn't. But yeah, guys, look how many second round picks we have. Not this upcoming draft, but the next draft. Oh my goodness. They're going to have to trade some of these. That's 4 second round picks. They are not using all 4 of their second round picks. There's no way they do that. And then you have 4 more in 2028. We just stacked up 3 in 2029. Spurs are ready. Sohan is, I just said this, dude. I literally just said that Nether at the beginning of the segment. He says Sohan is unironically a better center than Collins, rebounds more and is better rim protector, more passing upside too. That's why, and Mitch Johnson knows that, that's why Jeremy Sohan started at center. He knew that. No, you're right. Because you would have thought you would have just started Collins, right? But nope. I don't know. Something's off. Mitch was asked in post game. All right, we gotta look at post game stuff. All right, ending segment. Segment ending. Wait, should segment end? I don't know if segment should end. Yeah, segment's gonna end.